forgive me for playing a soundbite to Steve Bannon of Selena Gomez, but she's got a lot of power. She's very popular with a large segment of the population, and she just posted this video and then deleted it after her fans went nuts on her. But this is what we're getting.
I just wanted to say that I'm so sorry. All my people are getting attacked. The children. They don't understand. I'm so sorry. I wish I could do something, but I can't. I don't know what to do. I'll try everything, I promise.
Okay, Steve, she's got 422 million followers on Instagram, and indeed, she's an actress.
I mean, the good news is that people have common sense, because this is a revolution of common sense. That's why this movement, this progressive nationalist movement, is expanding every day, because folks, African Americans, Hispanic families, and working class men and women understand that this is to protect them. And they understand that all the performative, like how phony is that? And they can see through it. And they understand how this has destroyed their communities, and they're not going to tolerate it anymore. And they're certainly not going to be backed off by her or by Martha Raddatz. Look at Martha Raddatz's behavior with Tom Homan. I mean, you understand now why the mainstream media is virtually powerless because of her hectoring of Tom Homan, particularly hectoring. Remember about the military flights. So you're telling me every day military, they weren't concerned when they were having flights bringing folks in here and taking them deep into the country, like up at the Westchester Airport. So you then could spread out the illegal aliens into New England, right, and upstate New York. So this just shows you the mainstream media. This is why they're so powerless today, and I don't think we should be, even paying much attention to them. We just got to report more information, get more facts out there, more stories out there, and just let the camera roll and see the heroes like Tom Homan, see the heroes of the military that have been sent to the southern border, see the heroes, in every aspect of what we're trying to do to deconstruct the administrative state and take on the deep state. Just cut the cameras on and watch the Senate hearings last week, where they had no punchback on any of the deep policy stuff that Senator Rubio brought up, or that Pete Hegseth talked about a revolution in military affairs, and you had these Harridans. All they're doing is going after his personal foibles, every second. They didn't even get to the heart of the matter. And now Pete Hegseth is Secretary of Defense and has to, get on with it and start to execute on this. So I think our audiences grow every day, and they grow with the engagement, and to know that they blew her up after that phony, C-level actress performance is to me encouraging. That's really encouraging, because so should the American people in their decency. Remember, American people have tremendous common sense, tremendous grit, but they also have tremendous decency. It's the most decent group of people in world history, the most empathetic. They've have freed more people, given their lives, freeing more people, given money everywhere. The American people are very decent, and they understand what's going on here, and they fully back President Trump in this regard to clean this mess up.
Yeah, she didn't look at the polls, which have between 55 and 60% of all of America completely on board with deporting all illegals, including the Democrats. The Democrats are now majority in favor of deporting all illegals, never mind the ones who have committed crimes, which is where Homan's starting, but as you point out, not where he's going to end. Homan with Martha Raddatz discussed some of this. Take a listen to SOT 19.
How can you possibly afford to deport all of those people?
Well, I'll leave it up to Congress. I think Congress, the president has a mandate. This was the number one issue that people voted on. I think Congress has a mandate to give us money we need. What price you put on national security?
More detention centers?
What price you put on all these young ladies that have been raped and murdered and burned alive? What price you put on that? What price you put on Lincoln Riley's life?
Steve, what's interesting about Homan, and to some extent now too, J.D. Vance and the other people speaking for the administration, is, to me, it seems like they're finally getting it. It's so joyful for somebody like me to sit here and watch somebody who actually knows the facts and is not afraid to argue on what's real, give it right back to these Sunday news anchors, and they don't care if the news anchors like them.
They're not looking to go to cocktail parties in Georgetown. I thought JD, because JD's a real gentleman. But finally, it was like the frustration. Margaret, I don't care. That said, CBS has so lost its way. ABC has so lost its way. It's shocking. Margaret Brennan's just not at the level that you can be to run these Sunday shows. And Martha Raddatz right there. It's just hectoring. And you saw last night they got the two new anchors at CBS during the championship game. I think it was the AFC playoffs. I said, man, if that's O'Donnell was bad enough, is this an upgrade? This is another disaster. These guys, and this is why remember the audience is only 4.5 million. It's not that big an audience anymore. You were doing that at Fox, and you're bigger on your podcast. When you count everything, so. It shows you that the mainstream media, they're going to have nothing but deportation porn, right, from here on in, because this is where they're going. But I think the American people have had a belly full of it, and they understand something has to be done. And I love the way that in a very professional, even-handed way that people like Homan and JD are kind of the tip of the spear. But I think you're going to see this across the board with everybody. I think you're going to see Secretary Rubio and Pete Hegseth, and across the board Pam Bondi. We're not going to kowtow them. They're not looking to go to cocktail parties in Georgetown. They're there to save this country and return it to her greatness under President Trump's leadership. And I think that's what you're seeing.
It's so amazing. We've never seen this before, where they don't give 1 inch. They don't need to be liked. They don't need the invitation to the jury. They'll have their own parties. They don't need to go to these. And you just never see it. My entire history in the media, they go on these Sunday shows, they do a little ass kissing, and then they kind of pivot off to make their final point as like their parting shot of like, well, but we kind of believe this, after they totally cede the main points the anchor is raising in part one of his or her argument. So it's great to see somebody just fight and like completely disavow the premise of the question. We continue to face uncertainty when it comes to the economy, with a perfect storm brewing as Social Security and Medicare hit a breaking point, as the largest generation is hitting retirement. A smaller workforce means a smaller tax base. You pair that with our growing national debt and rising cost of living, and we could have a big problem. So, what are you doing now to protect your family for the future? Gold can be a safe haven in hard economic times, and Birch Gold makes it easy to diversify a portion of your savings into physical gold. Birch Gold will help you transition an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold, and it doesn't cost you 1 cent out of pocket. Protect your future today by texting MK to 989898 and get your free info kit on gold and a copy of The Ultimate Guide for Gold in the Trump Era with a foreword by Donald Trump Jr. No obligation, just information. Birch Gold has earned the trust of countless Americans looking to safeguard their savings. Text MK to the number 989898 today. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.